the sun goes down, Sacramento lights up. Bold, smart, unpredictable. Join Sky Alton as he shines a spotlight on the stories, the talent, and the everyday moments that makes our community amazing. And now please welcome Sky Alton.
Welcome to the show. I'm Sky Alton, of course, your host tonight. You've seen her face everywhere, but today you get to meet the powerhouse behind it. She is a top personal injury attorney and a fearless advocate for her clients and the one and only Billboard Queen. Let's just take a little bit look at her work.
Something wrong? You know, those have a lot of sugar in them. Something wrong?
She's everywhere. She keeps appearing and asking me if something's wrong or for the lady from the billboard. Hey, have you noticed how her eyes follow you? Like, don't make eye contact. And she's everywhere.
Behind the billboards is a brilliant legal mind, a relentless negotiator, and a champion for justice who knows how to fight and win. We will be right back with Miss Anh Phoong. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it.
Everyday amazing with Sky Alton.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Anh Phoong to the show. So good to have you on this show. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Getting ready to go to the Kings game.
I see that. I'm loving, representing the Kings, locally. So, you are a big celebrity around, not just to like my crew, but to Sacramento. So before we get into, why people know you, I want to get into just what inspired you to become a personal injury attorney.
So it was never in my plan to become a personal injury attorney. When I went to law school, I thought I was going to be actually a public defender. I worked at the public defender's office, thought that's what I was going to do. And when I finished and passed the bar, well, I couldn't get a job as a public defender. And I had also gone into a car accident that my last year of law school. And so I'd gone through the process of not being represented. I was injured, had some back pain, and I felt completely just pressured in to settle from the insurance adjuster. And so with having that experience, I had my then friend, who is my now husband, who had worked in personal injury and did some internships, and was like, hey, why don't you think about personal injury? And I was like, you know what? That's still a space where I feel like I'm advocating for people. And since I was in the shoes, like I said, I felt very pressured. I quickly settled my case. But I did it because the insurance agents kept hounding me. It was just so unfair. And I was like, wow, I could really be a voice for people in these situations too. So it made me feel good about it. And then I just dove right into it.
I like that because it's relatable and it shows that you may have a plan, but life can, take you other places.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, so tell me a little bit about, your background in Sacramento. Are you a native to Sacramento? Did you grow up out here?
So, yes, there's always that debate. Everyone's like, she's from the Bay, she's from Sac, and I'm both because I was born in San Jose. Okay. And I moved to Sacramento when I was about 10. And I've been there ever since. So it's like, my childhood, right? It may have been in the Bay Area, but so it's like yes and no. I say yes. What would you classify that as?
I get where you're coming from because I was born and mostly raised in Oakland, right? But then I actually finished my senior year of high school in El Dorado Hills. Okay. I graduated college from out here, but I still always say I'm from the Bay Area
Feels-
because
yeah,
but I've
right?
spent so much time in Sacramento. You've watched Sacramento grow, you've watched Sacramento change, so I can relate to that. I understand why it's kind of like both.
So it's
because
like both.
Yeah,
It really is.
yeah, you
And I think
can't
it's
pick one.
to say that.
It is okay, except I don't. Well, I guess for you, were you always like a Warriors fan or a Kings fan, or were you ever a Warriors fan at some
But
point?
before the back in the day, you'll find an old photo of me, wearing, Warriors gear. Because I mean, come on, the Warriors.
The dynasty, right? Yeah.
But obviously, ever since the partnership with the Kings, I've been a diehard Kings fan. Okay, that's
Of course. So my next question is, when should someone contact a personal injury attorney after an accident? Like,
honestly, I say right after.
okay.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous. Maybe not at the scene. Sometimes at the scene. I've had people call me at the scene and they just don't know what to do. Like, I've never been in an accident. What do I say? What do I do? Do I need this? And so if you're comfortable, if you really don't know what to do and you just need some advice to walk you through, call. But when I say after an accident, immediately, within that 24-hour period.
Okay.
Because lots can happen within those 24 hours. The insurance companies, lots of times, if they get a hold of you, they'll talk to you. I've had people call me and not understand the process and settle their case for pennies on the dollar.
Wow.
I mean, and we've had people, settling them that quick. So it's like, but you just don't know what's right, what's a good amount, what's a fair settlement.
Right.
So I always say call in the beginning and let's just see if we can help you. And
Right.
and then if you don't have a case or we can't help you or it's something you can handle on your own, let us tell you that.
Right.
So the sooner the better.
That's really good advice.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, I feel like a lot of people, if you've never been in a situation, you don't know the procedure.
You don't know what to do. You don't know who pick pictures, photos, witnesses, and things like that. And so it's always good just to seek that. And it's always for personal injury lawyers. It's free consultation. Everyone does a free consultation. Let us tell you what to do. And if we can't help you, oh well, at least you got some information.
They have nothing to lose, right?
Yep.
That's a good point. I'll just share a quick personal story. It ended up working out for me, but because I have rarely been in accidents, knock on wood, there was one time where I had a little fender bender, and I forgot to get the person's driver's license.
Yeah.
Because it's just so much
You don't
happens.
think about it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you know what? My car's not really messed up. It might be a scratch or a ding.
Right.
Like, bye-bye. But, right? You just don't think about it.
Exactly. Okay, so then my next question that I have for you is, what's your approach different from other personal?
So I'd like to think that my approach is different because I think I just give it to you straight. And I'm just like, this language, I don't give you the legalese. It's nothing fancy. It's just, hey, here's what's going on. Here's how I think I can help you. Or I don't even think I can help you. And I only take cases, obviously, where I think I can bring value and help people. There's been plenty of times people have called and I'm like, you know what? You don't need me. You got this. You can handle it yourself and you'll probably get a good recovery. I know that's terrible to say, but that's the honest truth. I don't want to get on a case where I'm not doing anything for a client.
Right.
That's not right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for me, I think it's my personal approach, the way, we just have it. Some people are intimidated by attorneys because that general sense of like a suit and tie and it's serious and that might not make some people feel comfortable.
Right.
So I feel like we have a little bit of a softer approach, more personable, where if you call me, let's just have a conversation about it. And so that's what I think is, different because we all, we're all licensed attorneys, and we all do the same area. We know the law. So really, what is the thing that makes you different? So.
Right.
I would like to say that, and then we have the service that we give our clients. I would like to say we definitely try our best. It's such a big deal to me to offer good service, not just complete the case. Let's just make sure the process. We help the clients as much as we can along the way, hold their hand, and that's shown in our Google reviews. We've got a lot of great reviews. I think we're like 4.8 over 1,000 reviews.
Wow.
So I'm really proud of that.
No, I think. Obviously it's working for you guys, but something you said about just that approach, because a lot of times, when there's a lot going on, it's a trust issue, right? You don't know who's on your side, who's not on your side. And a lot of times just lawyers, attorneys in general make people uneasy because they feel like, well, are they really on my side or are they just trying to take my money?
Absolutely.
And so having that kind of soft approach, I can definitely see that being more relatable. And I think that comes from, again, you actually going through something similar. So you talk to people how you would want to be talked to.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, so then the next question I have for you is, can you share a case or a moment that reminded you of why you do the work that you do? You don't have to go into details, but just something that, like, you know, it's always going to be an important memory because it was that wow moment, like, you know what, like I'm in the right field.
So we had a case a few years back, and this lady needed help. She actually had several attorneys take her case and then drop her, meaning they took the case and then they got out of the case. And so normally that's because they think the case is difficult, or it could be a fact they don't like, or sometimes, you know, there's difficult situations or difficult people, right? And or they're just not up for it. So it happened to her in the course of several years. She had over 3 attorneys. And so first of all, as an attorney evaluating, we're like, okay, well, what's wrong with the case? Is there something wrong with the client? You know, there's got to be a red flag. So red flags all over. But she had called me, and this is back when I was taking all the phone calls myself.
Okay, it's early
So
on.
when you called 866 got paid, it would go to my cell phone. And this is back in the day. It can't now. And I picked up the call, and I had a conversation with her, and she was in a position where if she didn't get an attorney within the next 5 days, the case would go to trial. And she would represent herself against a 30-year veteran attorney on the other side, so she told me that. I was like, oh man, but then it's also crazy that you would take a case that goes to trial next week, right? Like that, there's just no time
to prepare,
But she said that she saw my commercial, and she said, I know you are the last, like my last hope, and I know you can help me. And then I met with her, and everything she said checked out, like the story she told. And just when I met her, I was like, oh man, I can't let this lady. They were trying to offer her $5,000. Her claim was worth, more than that, maybe 50 to 100,000 at the minimum. And she was, she didn't want to take it, but almost felt like I can't do this by myself. And so we ended up taking the case and took it to trial. We got her almost $400,000.
Wow.
And this is like I said, because of the fast track and all the kind of bad things that happened already in the case that we had no control of, because she was representing herself for so long. It wasn't I'm going to take this case and make a ton of money. I'm going to take this case. I need to help this lady. So I always remember that, and I say it goes to the core of why I even became a lawyer in the first place. And why I became a personal injury lawyer was to help people. And even if it didn't mean, like for me, like in that case, we would spend money on the case to go to trial, and it may not recover anything. And we don't recover costs if we don't win for our clients. So I really gambled on a client that I didn't know, had no relationship with, but was like, I believe you and I want to help you. And it's just not fair for the insurance company to just take advantage of you. And so we held them accountable. And so that makes me feel really good, because it's what we do, it's what we believe in. And I'm sure, like you said, just attorneys in general, there's people get a bad taste in their mouth, but personal injury lawyers specifically, you heard of the term ambulance chaser?
Yep.
And so we get dubbed that all the time, and it just, I know in my heart, what I'm about, what my firm is about, what we represent, and what we do. So it just reminds me of the good work that we do, and that there are great, great lawyers out there that just care and want to help people.
And I can tell that you're one of them, because everything you just said was very sincere and from the heart. I talk to a lot of people. I mean, I do this for a living, and I can tell when, someone is saying something.
Practice
and
this.
Yeah, but no, everything you said, I can tell you mean that. And I always say when I get a chance to meet people like that and have them on my show and highlight them, that it makes me feel good about what I do, because you are doing the work that you're supposed to be doing.
I know exactly what you mean. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Of course. So I kind of want to get into, how a lot of people know you and see you. You're known as the Billboard Queen in Sacramento. And so I guess I first want to ask, how has that visibility helped you and your legal team? With business?
So I started my firm in 2012, end of 2013. So prior to that, as a solo practitioner, just myself, had a couple of people work with me. We're doing pretty good. Like I had a good personal injury business and a good book of business. And I came to the turning point of, well, is this it? Like, am I going to continue as a solo practitioner, or is there more? And at the time, I felt the need, when I was asking myself that question, I was like, I feel like our service, we're different. And I want to make sure our community knows there's a different type of service or different type of lawyer out there that can help you that doesn't look like what you would say or think is a typical lawyer out there, especially personal injury lawyer, because during that time, so this is 2016, and it was just a lot of male, older gentlemen, white men in that space of personal injury. And I was like, no, people need to see that there's someone of color, that's a woman, and that can do the same thing. And so, sure enough, I actually took a trip I always talk about this because this is the pivotal moment where I was like, if I'm going to do this, I need to do something. If I'm going to advertise, it's got to be catchy, it's got to be punchy, it's got to stick. And I go on a cruise in Florida, and Florida is big, was back then really big personal injury. And, from the airplane to the bus ride to the hotel, everything I heard, saw, billboards, TV rate, everything was just this personal injury lawyer, and it was like 444 pain or something like that.
Right.
And the jingle, I was like, this is ridiculous. After that trip, I came home in Sacramento and singing their song in Florida, and I'm like, I need to do that, And so that's how we started thinking, like, okay, so if we're going to expand and broaden our service and make it more available, we've got to let the public know. How do you do that? So that's the start of the billboards and the Something Wrong, Anh Phoong.
I like that. That. We're going to talk more about that, but before we do, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages.
Everyday amazing with Sky Alton.
Hey, I'm El Nicole, and you're watching Everyday Amazing with Sky Alton.
Welcome back to the show. I am still here with the amazing Anh Phoong, and we were talking about, how you started your billboards and advertisements. So tell me, what do you want people to understand when they see your billboards or ads?
Honestly, I want them to see like, well, maybe if I do get her in an accident, I can call her. And just see that there's we kind of talked about trust, right? It's a trust factor, and you have to resonate with the people. And I've had so many people call and tell me that they don't need my services right now, but they saw my billboard or they saw the bus or saw me speak on a commercial or something, and they're like, but there's just something about you that makes me feel like I can trust you. So I'll call you when I need you. So that's it. It is just a relatable issue, and I want them to see me as someone that they believe will fight for them.
I like that. And just from how you took that chance, right? Because you don't know if this was going to be a hit or not. Yeah, it worked in Florida, but it was kind of like a big chance of we're going to spend a lot of money to see if this can translate to California. Is it going to be received well? Are people going to think it's corny? Or are people going to actually? So I get that, right? It was a shot in the dark, but I love how not only did you follow through with it, but you just didn't. You say, look, I believe this is going to work, and we're gonna go all the way, right? And so, tell me about when it first started to work. And you're starting to see more business from it, and how you started to just the decision to just keep expanding, because you're not just in the Bay Area and Sacramento. Yeah. You're in Nevada, you're in LA. So just tell me about that,
Absolutely.
That decision.
So same thing where, I was that gamble, because it was a gamble. We spent a lot of money to market and with this Something Wrong, call Anh Phoong, right? And so put it all on the line, and is this gonna work? Did I just make, and I was like, if I'm gonna bet, and I'm a betting type of person, I'm gonna bet on myself. I'm gonna bet my hands on me, not chances. It's something that I can make and craft and control. And so sure enough, the question was always, is the community gonna respond? And are they gonna wanna pick up the phone? Are they gonna wanna call? Sure enough, I tell you, that first day the commercial aired, I was like, oh my God. And the phone started ringing. And it kept ringing. But they were not people who were in accidents. I got mothers, daughters, aunts, little girls calling me saying, thank you so much for putting yourself out there. We've never seen a commercial or billboard with a girl up there. My daughter now thinks that she can be a lawyer or wants to be a doctor, or, and I'm like, whoa, this is weird. Wait, this is great. And it was just a lot of compliments.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, then, as it repeats and frequency, people were calling about accidents.
Yeah.
And so when it worked, it was like right away. The response was immediate. Now we have had markets where we've tried to launch it, we failed in. First few weeks, no calls, not even a call to say,
Right,
you know,
we like your, yeah.
we understood. I was like, okay, so it didn't work in that. So it wasn't always just like, oh, guarantee, like, oh, we've got this secret recipe and it's gonna work everywhere. And that's what I had to learn, was like, where is it gonna work? So our next, so COVID 2020, going back to that question, being from the Bay, back in the Bay has always had a place in my heart. And so I've always had it, like, once we started the office, you know, if we're going to expand, it's going to be in the Bay Area. And an unfortunate time for sure, right? Like, COVID was so scary, but I also realized, like, okay, I'm scared right now, but also, is there an opportunity in this realm to kind of take advantage of some of the things that were going on? For example, billboards were like 75% off, because nobody was advertising then. They didn't know, the world was so uncertain. And so that's when we launched the Bay Area. We got it at a discount. There's no way I would have launched the Bay Area at the volume and the amount of money it would have taken to do what we did in SAC just for the Bay Area. I mean, we're talking about a lot more money, right? And so, but essentially we were able to do that. And then same thing with the Bay Area. I think the Bay Area was waiting for me. I really feel they were, because as soon as we hit there, we got the calls. And I think it's just, you know, just being from diverse, you know, big cities that were just kind of ready to see something different.
Yeah.
And so that's where, you know, we expanded to the other cities where we're like, okay, I think that's what we need to look at, right? Bigger cities, and where people feel like, obviously, like you said, when they look at me, they're like, that's the person I want. And so I am in Nevada, Las Vegas. We are working on going north to Reno, and then also a few other states this year.
Okay.
So
I
just same line with, if I'm going to expand, and if I really believe in the services that I offer, my team offers, that I want to make it available to everybody.
Yeah.
Well, not like everybody. We're not going to go national, but we are being in a select few states where I think it's manageable. It wouldn't be too difficult for me to be there and travel. So that's what 2026 is like looking at.
I like that. I like that. And just to hear how you talk about, and to admit that, hey, it hasn't always been a success. We've launched in markets and it didn't hit so well. That is a very honest, sincere point that I think anyone else out there, you know, needs to hear, because again, it shows that you have trial and error, right? And you've overcome things that were, you know, we think this is going to work, it didn't work, so we pivot and we try something different. You know, to hear you say it, you know, someone out there can hear that and really get inspired, and they don't even have to be in the same field as you, but to see someone as successful as you are, you know, speak to it just means a lot.
Yeah, no, I want to tell the truth. It's not easy journey. And it's not just because you've, you know, made it to a certain point, you're always going to make it, and it's always just going to go up from there. No, and I would never want to paint that picture. I want, like, real life. Like, this is what you see, this is what you get. And real life is ups and downs. It's I mean, maybe there's a few people that just go up, and but I mean, that's the reality of it. You've got to be able to have setbacks, understand that in no matter what field, what, you know, if it's business, school, relationships even, right? It's just always going to be an up and down. You may have periods where there's more ups, and there may be periods where there's more downs. And I've experienced all of that in the last like 13, 14 years of my practice. And the reality of it is, you just have to weather through it. And you just have to have the grit to say, it sucks right now, but I'm going to get through this. And know and have the intention of doing what it takes to get through it. And so I would never want to mislead people and be like, oh, this is easy. You know, it's not, you know, but at the same time, I also want to make sure I encourage people to accept that in any goal or anything you achieve and chase in life, just be prepared to do the work and be prepared for the setbacks, so that, you know, you can bounce right back. And like, so I'm living proof of that, and so many other very successful people in business and all of the realms, right?
Yeah.
But that's the truth. Not linear like that.
It's so relatable what you said, but you mentioned do the work, and I do the work to highlight people like you who are doing the work. And so when I listen to you talk and I listen to you speak about, you know, your story, it inspires me, right? And it makes, just sitting here now, it's like one of those things where, oh, this is why I do it, you know, to hear things like this, you know. So One last question, and then we have a game that we're going to play. What's the one thing everyone should know about their legal rights after accident?
The one thing that you should know about your legal rights is that you don't have to take anything they're offering you. You don't have to settle. And I think that's just important because there's a pressure in the beginning. They will throw numbers that might sound good to you. You don't have to settle. You don't have to take their offer. And I think that's important because then if you don't take their offer, then you can have time. You have time to look for an attorney. You have time to heal. That's the most important thing is if you're injured and they're calling you on the week after and you're still recovering, does it make sense? How do you know how much you should be getting if you're still hurt and if you have a year's more worth of treatment, right?
Right.
So definitely know that you have the time, and time is relative depending on who the defendant is, but it's not something you have to accept right away, but they will pressure you and make you feel as if, oh, well, this is my last chance. Here goes $5,000, take it or leave it.
Right.
So I think that would be specifically for auto accident injuries.
Okay, I like that. Great tip. Now I want to get into something I like to do with my guests when I have the time, and for you, I definitely have the time.
Okay.
We're gonna have you pull a card, you'll read the question on the card, and you'll answer it. And I have no control over these cards, but I feel like they just work in mysterious ways. Where the questions,
I feel so. It's what's meant to be heard.
Yes, and
Right? Yeah.
it's just worked out that
Unless
way.
they're all the same question. And all right, here we go. You want me to read it?
Yeah, you'll read it and.
How would you like to redecorate your room? Oh, that's an easy one. Okay, so very vague in room. Is it my office or my bedroom? But I will assume this bedroom, maybe?
It could be any room that you feel like sharing.
Let's do bedroom because you guys are gonna crack. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
Okay.
All right. I have 3 kids.
Okay.
10, 6, and 3. And I have the big Shaquille O'Neal bed.
Oh wow. Okay.
I mean, no, it's 2 California kings together.
Wow. Okay.
You know why I have a big bed?
Is it all one group? You guys all like to come in there
My
and
kids still sleep with me.
okay, yeah.
And so the room is a room and a bed, and that's all there's space for because it's such a big bed. So I share that because I think there's some shame. People are like, oh, well, why are your kids in your bed, or they're too old, and I just love it. I mean, I honestly love having my kids next to me, and they're on the way to be booted out as they're getting a lot older and bigger and taking up space. So I think that, the one way I would redecorate my room is obviously get a smaller, regular size bed with regular, sheets. I mean, you should imagine my sheets.
I was going to say they have it specially made,
comforter,
right?
specially made. Everything is specially made. So to have like a normal size bed and to be able to walk around in a bedroom.
Okay. And see, that question worked for you because Sacramento has seen you so much, but now they know something personal about you. Now they feel like they know you a little bit better because there's so many people.
Sleeps with her babies still.
Yeah. Well, there's moms out there, same thing. Like I still, sleep with my babies and I don't care what anyone says. And so, the cards know. I don't know how they do, but they know it's
okay to sleep with your kids still, okay, mamas?
Well, I want to thank you again for coming on the show. You do such amazing work, and I'm just honored to be able to share your story on my platform. And so thank you again for giving me your time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So before I let you go, is there any social media or just websites or anything like that you want to share with the audience so they know how to reach you?
Just Phoong Law, our social media, Phoong Law or Anh Phoong.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much to the people out there. It's been another amazing episode of Everyday Amazing. I really hope you enjoy Miss Anh Phoong. And until next time, I'll see you.